Hello, welcome to Moles on Mission. I'm Philip,
And I'm Anna.
and you may hear like a guest cameo of baby Malachi because he is awake with us right now. So you might hear some burps, some coos, some whines. We'll see how this goes. All right, question time.
Let's go.
Have you ever consumed something unexpected?
I feel like you're setting me up.
I'm not setting you up. That's not a setup. I can go first if you want me to, and it not feel like a setup.
Sure.
Okay, so yeah, I was probably middle school, early high school. I'm young at this point. I think I was doing yard work or something. Like I mowed the lawn on a hot summer day. I mean, I'm sweaty. I'm dehydrated at this point. I'm exhausted. I come into the house. I'm looking for a refreshing beverage to drink. And like Jonathan, son of King Saul, who tasted honey and his soul was restored to him, like I'm looking for that kind of sustenance. And I see a bottle of apple juice on the counter. I pour a glass, like a full glass, and I just a huge swig of that thing, like one full gulp. And it turns out what I grabbed was, I mean, I guess a form of apple juice. It was apple cider vinegar. And that was quite the rude awakening for me. I'm already in a diminished state of being. And I also took, like Jesus, who took sour wine on the cross, took a gigantic gulp of apple cider vinegar.
Very good.
Yep, so that is a time that I consumed something unexpected.
And to this day, you hate the taste of apple cider vinegar.
Absolutely, yeah. Like, you don't get over a traumatic moment like that.
Yeah, see, for me, it's not a terrible taste. I would drink apple cider vinegar throughout pregnancy because it helped with heartburn. I would mix it with water. And it just, yeah. But anytime I suggest, like, you could take this if you're getting a cold, you could take a
Swig of apple cider. I'm like, I've taken enough swigs for my entire life with that gulp. I mean, that was
one and only.
one and only.
It's good.
I downed like 8 Capri Suns after that to try to get the taste out of my mouth.
Okay, so let me get this straight though. You chose apple juice over a Capri Sun?
Because here's the deal. It was on the counter.
So it wasn't even cold.
It's low threshold. You know, I had minimum work for what I thought was maximum reward. Turns out delayed gratification is a thing.
It's a good lesson to learn.
Yeah, I could preach a sermon on that.
I feel like there's some kind of analogy there.
Yep.
Yeah.
How about you?
Well, there was an incident actually this past week.
Oh, okay. Bring it.
And I feel like you're going to debate me on a technicality here, but I'm going to tell the story anyway.
Tell the story.
So, it's late
Uh-huh.
at night. I've just gotten Malachi down.
If it's the story, I think I'll allow it.
He's finally fallen asleep, but I usually get ready for bed first and then I feed him so that I can just go right to sleep. But this time I did it backwards.
Yeah.
So I'm in the bathroom, trying to get ready for bed quickly so I can get in bed and go to sleep because I only have so many hours before he's going to wake up and want to eat again. And so I'm wash my face, brushing my teeth, spit out the toothpaste into the sink. And there's like this little wad of dark something that came out of my mouth.
Uh-huh.
And I look closer and I brushed my teeth with a roach on my toothbrush. And I still haven't gotten over it. That toothbrush is in the garbage, long gone. I meticulously check every time I brush my teeth now.
Not just like we have electric toothbrushes.
Yes.
Not just the tip. She chucked the entire thing. No, I'm just kidding. It's
No.
just the tip.
It was just the tip because, there, I didn't the main part of it, the
Yeah.
electric part doesn't go in my mouth, so
It's
that
true.
part didn't need to go away. But the yeah, the head definitely in the garbage. And I made a sound. It went a little bit like "Bleh," after realizing what had happened. Rebrushed my teeth twice as long, and then yeah, I still have.
Yep. Yeah.
So
I will allow that.
I was expecting you to say, "Did you consume
Yep,
it?"
yep,
Because you
yeah.
didn't swallow it,
Yeah.
but
No, I'll allow it. That's
it
gross.
was
Yep.
certainly gross and unexpected.
Uh-huh. Definitely unexpected.
For the record, I didn't taste it, but that could have been because there was toothpaste.
Yeah, there's just enough minty flavor to cover that thing up.
Ugh, it's disgusting.
All right. Well, thank you for being vulnerable with us and sharing this story of yours.
I hope it made somebody laugh.
All right.
Maybe that would be worth it.
Yes, it'll be worth it. In the end, it'll all be worth it. It's all for the laughs. You could
Lord.
do it for the vine, as the youngsters
Used
said
to say.
like 7 years ago, or
When you
whenever
were
Vine,
young?
whenever Vine shut down, went out of business. I don't know.
Yeah, that was definitely more than 7 years ago.
It's been a while. All right, on to our updates. All right, so we have got a lot of updating to do. Actually, I don't know if the amount of updating will be any more than usual, but it
The
feels
magnitude.
bigger for us, for sure. We have had a huge change to our timeline with Wycliffe come up over the past couple weeks. And now that stuff kind of seems settled in, all right, we have a pretty good idea of what's in front of us, what it looks like. It's time to update our peoples.
Yep.
Yep. So that thing that we've been talking about for the past several episodes of ICC, or the Intercultural Communications Course, we will not be doing that this month. After all, we are going to be waiting a year to do the ICC course, and the reason for that is there have been, I guess, some. How would you describe it? Just some structural changes to the training program that I was going to be
Yeah.
that I am going to be in with JARS, and they are wanting to kick off a group of 10 people to go through the training course in September. So we kind of have been bumped up on an accelerated timeline
Right.
to get us to that training
in
in
8 weeks.
in 8 weeks in September.
Yeah. So, just for context, originally JADO, which is the
I think it stands for
Training?
something, but I don't know what
Not
it stands for.
it it was originally set up as a once you come to JARS just whenever, then
Yeah.
we start training
Yep.
you. And they've streamlined it to
Yes.
kind of be in a semester based.
Yep, because
Structure.
the volume of people who are going to be going through in the future has increased.
And I think that it makes a lot of sense.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But that being said, it has definitely changed our
Yes, it has.
expectations
Yes.
for when we need to move and get started with stuff. So the our advocates at Wycliffe and at JARS have really been working hard
Yes.
to
Help us get there.
help us get the necessary get through the necessary hoops.
Yep.
Strategizing how to get our Wycliffe
Yep.
budget before September so that we can
Yep, and that is
go
sort
to
of
this
the
training.
provisional. Well, what would you call it? Well, they want us to be funded
Yes.
in order to get there. So there's not a, oh, you can just go and sort of finish it off. That they are wanting us to be sufficiently funded
Yes.
in order to go to this training in September.
And so we are very grateful for,
Yes.
yeah, our friends at Wycliffe and
yeah.
Jars really worked tirelessly because of this change,
Yep.
and we're so thankful. And we've received a lot of favor. The Lord has definitely been opening
Oh yes, opening
doors
doors.
for us to get to that
Yep.
get to that 100% and be
Yep.
able to really
Finished
dive
with the fundraising
into
process and
Yeah.
be fully into the our
our first
process.
our first assignment
Yep.
at JAR's headquarters.
Yeah.
So that has been a wild ride, ups and downs, feelings of
Oh yeah.
intimidation and overwhelm
Mm-hmm.
and excitement and
Yep.
trepidation and
All
all the
happening.
things. But God has been so present in the midst of
yes.
it, and his timing has been very specific.
Yeah. Yes. Yep. As we've gotten news and been processing stuff and been, praying, all right, Lord, do you want us to go for it? Do you want us to wait? What do you want to do? And just surrendering, all right, we had these expectations, and now this seems like it's going to be the new timeline or reality. It's like as soon as, we've processed a thing, then the Lord comes in with the next step and the next
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Provision or whatever.
It has definitely been not quite a cycle, because I don't know, God's more creative than that. But there has been many moments of this feels way too big for us.
Yes.
This feels impossible. Way too much needs to happen for
Yep.
this to
Yep.
work out for us to be able to move in September. And through processing that emotionally, and then once we actively surrendered it,
Yeah.
and said, Lord, we can't do this,
Yeah.
but if you're calling us to this, then we'll do our very best.
Yep.
Then he would, open the next door and make it seem just that much more possible.
Yeah.
Just enough to show us that
He's in
he
it.
is in it,
Yep.
and he's the one that gets us there.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Through
Through his church.
his church
Yep.
and the generosity of his people.
Yep.
So
Yeah. Yep. So we are at like 75% of our budget, or our Wycliffe budget right now. And so we are praying and reaching out and sort of asking that, people would prayerfully consider helping us reach that 100% mark so that we can start this thing full bore and be, all in
right.
to this upcoming training.
Yeah. So if you're listening and have not considered partnering with our ministry financially on
Yeah.
a recurring basis, we would be honored if you would prayerfully
Yep.
consider it and see if and how the Lord would have you partner with us.
Yep.
And for those of you who are listening that do partner with us financially, we are so grateful.
Oh, yes. Very grateful.
The Lord is using your generosity and your partnership to get us to
Yep.
JARS and beyond, and
Yep.
we're constantly humbled
Yeah.
by the Lord's generosity through your generosity.
Oh, yes.
So thank you. And thanks for listening and caring about our updates, because
Yeah.
this is exciting stuff.
It is.
It's definitely a lot of ups and downs and changes in direction,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm learning that doesn't stop here.
I don't think it's going to stop here. I think, everyone in Wycliffe, as they've heard about, where we've been at in all these processes, they're like, welcome to missions life. It's got ups, it's got downs. You never know what's around the next bend.
Yep. And that, I think, is extra. It's extra evident in a vocational missionary
Yeah.
set up where we are relying on other people's
Yeah.
giving for finances, and then we're going into places that we don't
Yep.
we don't know.
Yeah.
I think that any false sense of security is removed in that context, but
Yeah.
It's true of everyone. We really don't have any control over our lives
It's true.
or anything within our lives.
Yeah.
James talks about don't say today
Yeah.
or tomorrow we'll go to this place and we'll do this thing, but say if the Lord wills,
Yes.
we will live and
do
also do this or that. So
Yeah.
recognizing that the gift of life is huge every single day, and keeping us in gratitude and reliance on
Yes.
the fundamentals of life, and then going beyond that to the financial needs, to the travel and other provisions that God also lavishes upon us. But
Yep.
I'm grateful to be in a situation that I can't, or it is harder to it's harder to fall into a sense of security of I have control,
Yeah.
because I really do, like, I can't pretend to have control. So, and you see the Lord's kindness so much more when you give up any pretense of control of your own life. And I'm really thankful for that.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing, especially in a first world country where lots of affluence and
Yep.
scheduling and all these things that we get to choose a lot of times. But at the same time, we really don't have any control, and keeps me thankful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you guys, if anyone is either wanting more information or interested in partnering and helping us get to that 100%, you can go to our website, mullsonmission.com, and you can connect with us there, or follow any of the various links that we have on our website. So
Yes.
yeah, So that we're really ramping up here. We might even be putting out some extra episodes over the next 8 weeks while we are on this sort of accelerated course to moving to another state to start, full-time training. So I think the next episode we put out, we're going to be having some conversations with some of the guys who are going to be training. And Anna and I will have, a much better handle on what this sort of structured program is going to look like, and we'll be able to update you guys on what it's going to look like for us when we move.
The nitty-gritty details.
What's this training? What's it for? What's it maybe going to look like? So we look forward to updating you guys on that very soon.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, and now on to the final segment of our show. All right, so this is a sort of new segment or a replacement segment to the program. We're not going to be putting the What the Lord Has Been Speaking to Us section here any longer. This is now the extra section of the podcast. And I say extra like, I've got this new paper thing that just came out and
I think
printed.
they got it.
Okay.
I think they got it.
Okay. I trust that you guys get it. You know exactly where I'm coming from, and there's no miscommunication at all.
Safe assumption.
Yes, so super safe assumption. So we're trying a new thing, Anna and I, and it's going to be called the Vocation Conversation. It's a second podcast that we're going to do, and there are some intentional reasons for it being a separate thing. As we encounter just the various cultural differences that we're going to experience as we move to another country, as we work with people who are very different from us, just as we're processing, hey, how do I live this Christian life in a faithful way in brand new contexts that I've never been in before and that are stretching me in a lot of ways. We want a space where we can kind of talk about what we've processed, what we've experienced, and what the Lord has been showing us through this sort of missions, cross-cultural oriented life.
Yeah.
And we're doing that on a separate podcast because this podcast is not strictly going to be associated with Wycliffe or JARS or our work with those organizations. It's sort of its own separate project of sorts. It's not opposed to those things in any way. It's just yeah, it's just not a like it's a full conversation that don't really feel like really fits with just the Moles on Mission update podcast that we're doing here. So
yeah.
It being its own thing, we wanted to give it its own space. So we wanted to let you guys know about it. I'll put a link to our first episode in the description of this podcast. And you guys will probably see it pop up on Facebook as we make new episodes. And that can just be another way for you guys to keep up with not just what we're doing, but also
how we're doing,
what we're processing, what we're experiencing. What are those, I guess, how would you describe it?
Refining moments?
Yeah, refining moments. So like in this first episode, we just talk about some experiences that we've had as we've traveled and lived with people from other countries, which have stretched us in, hey, what's a perspective that's changed for us over the years as we've encountered different people from different contexts. And so it'll be fun. It's not going to be as regular a show as this one.
Yeah.
But we're hoping we can get some good sort of deepish content and conversations happening there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Very cool.
Very
It's
cool.
exciting stuff.
Yep. Well, we love you guys. We thank you so much for listening to the end with us, holding out to the very end. We look forward to keeping you guys updated as we find out what will happen with us. We look forward to keeping you guys updated on what has happened.
Until the next episode.
Until the next time. Bye.
Bye.